Hey, welcome back to the Disney Plus Everyday Challenge, and today we have Marvel Studios assembled the making of What If. This is the behind-the-scenes making of, obviously, special. Each of the series that appear on Disney Plus and each of the films that have been brought out over the last few years have all got their own making of, and there's still a stack of them to go through at this point. They make no fanfare about putting them out. The Deadpool and Wolverine one is available now. But they made no fanfare about it. So it's on the list, but we're only going to get to it next year at best. In this case, though, we have from 2021, 42 minutes long, just a good look at the people who created it, who thought it all up, and brought it to life. Now you're like, okay, well, there's a lot of people who are like, oh, well, it's just a cartoon Avengers. It's just not really important. It's not, I don't need to watch this. No, you don't need to watch anything. But it's still, this is actually one of my most favorite series that has come out on Disney Plus since they started doing Disney Plus series. It's one, I love animation, and it is kind of building the groundwork for the acceptance of the multiverse stories, and we've had plenty of them weaving its way through Quantumania and the Doctor Strange in the Multiverse of Madness, and Peter Parker in Spider-Man No Way Home, and just so many other Loki, all these different things. And this doesn't just touch on them; it shows us full realized worlds, alternate realities of characters we know and love taking different paths. And in that sense, it's kind of freeing, where you can go, oh, we know how Captain America works, what's required of Captain America, but what if he never got the super soldier serum and Peggy Carter got it instead? What's that story? And maybe that's not interesting to you. Well, you're lost, but it is a pretty interesting thing. And then, while most of the stories they tell in these are fully new, they're fully, or the characters, I should say, are fully, the versions of these characters are fully new. Peggy Carter in this role actually first appeared in the comics a number of years ago. I think it was Exiles. She was in the Exiles comic, which was also a multiverse hopping series of mutants running around. Well, not just mutants, but it was run by Blink, who could hop between universes, who we have not seen yet in any of the films from the X-Men universe. That will likely change at some point. In a sense, though, Peggy Carter existed before, and the Marvel Zombies, which is also getting its own series. It'll be the new animated series on Disney Plus next year sometime. And this comes at a really good time because the final season of What If is arriving in the final week of 2024. So getting a jump on it. This is definitely not the kind of thing you want to watch before actually watching the episodes. This is a great way to understand how and why these came to be, why these stories exist. And you get to see, honestly, where is... I don't have my piece of artwork signed by Ryan Mierending. I'm sure I just said his name wrong. Mierending. He's the kind of visual artist. He's the visual artist behind so many things, even since the first Iron Man film, that brings to life the look and feel of so many different costumes and just scenes and worlds and realities. And him, along with Andy Park and so many others, sort of build out the foundation of the look and feel of these universes, and they get fully realized in these animated sequences. Yeah, they get realized in the live action films as well, but it's sort of more akin to animation. Kind of brings those drawings to life in a different way, and it allows them to do things that they couldn't necessarily do in live action. It's some of the actors just have to show up and speak into a microphone. Jeffrey Wright, who does the voice of the Watcher, who's always been the central character in every What If comic book that's come out since, I guess, the 70s. I can't think if it came out any time before then. And every time I grew up reading them, anytime there's a new version of that series, sometimes they were just 5, 6 episodes these last few years, 5 or 6 issues, I should say, and they're all a group of one-shot issues that take recent issues that are recent events in the comics and go, what if this happened, and what if Venom did this, what if Thanos did that, and you get to see in a maybe a supersized, slightly bigger issue, you get to see what's going on with that. And that's why I really love the What If stories, not just because it's Marvel and the characters we know and love, but it's the Marvel of the MCU, of the films and the TV shows that we know and love. And you get to hear the voices. Most of the actors provide their voices. Only Iron Man and Captain America mainly do not have Robert Downey Jr. and Chris Evans doing the voices. Mostly everyone else is providing the voices for their characters in the films and the shows, which is also kind of cool. So you don't get a thing where it's just like, hey, let's have a bunch of actors who've done the cartoons before. Nothing wrong with those guys. But there's the guy who does the voice for Tony Stark. He's just about dead on. You have to think for a second whether that's really Robert Downey Jr. or not. So, and I know his name, but I'm not going to waste our time scrolling through IMDb to find it. But I will, But either way, it kind of gives us neat insight into the characters themselves, and because they make a point that these stories, because they're kind of mini movies, but they're all just sort of focused on a particular character or group of characters in a way that it's not always about advancing the greater MCU story, which is sometimes a problem with Marvel films and series, where they don't seem to tell their own story, but just a chapter in a larger story. And yes, you could accuse these shows of doing it, but I think they do a really good job of creating a singular concentrated story in 30-ish minutes and just really knock it out of the park. And with no rules necessarily. I mean, yeah, you got to keep the character true to themselves, true to how they're depicted, but sometimes you get to turn them all into zombies and they start eating people and still have their powers. It's a little dangerous. We get to see things like Ultron. What if Ultron had actually gotten the Vision's body? And what if he had literally defeated everyone? What does that mean? And how do you stop him? If everything in his universe is gone, where does he go from there? Oh yeah, the multiverse. So, yeah, between the voices, the acting, and the choices they make in these things, this making of episode, I love behind the scenes stuff. I just love just documentaries about how they came up with that look, or created a set, or chose a voice. It's, to me, this is perfection. Just whether you like everything that Marvel puts out or not, doesn't matter. You can still enjoy these things, because again, if you didn't like a certain film and you can see that character take a different path, maybe you might like that, and you don't sit for 2 hours to experience it. It's done in 30 minutes, and you're like, well, you know what? I like that better. It's okay. We don't have to like everything, but I think these people do their best to really just sort of go crazy and have some fun, especially in the What If universe. And because and one of the reasons I imagine that they're ending the What If series is because we're going to get so multiversal. Oh yeah, Deadpool and Wolverine too. We're going to get so multiversal going forward as we lead everything towards Doomsday and then Secret Wars. We might be all multiversed out. But the good thing, it looks like the same people who designed the look and feel of this What If series is moving on to doing the Marvel Zombies thing, which is just, it's an iconic series. Adam Saddam has always done these just incredibly gory, just unsettling covers over the years. Arthur Saddam. Yeah, I'm sorry, Arthur. I've said your name wrong at least 5 times now, but he's definitely watching this. But yeah, we get to see more stuff from that. So I know I'm going off in different branches here, but seriously, when you're done watching this falls, by the way, this was created and released somewhere between season 1 and season 2 because it has a lot of is mainly focused on everything that happened in season 1, and it is very spoilery in certain ways. So if you're gonna watch, if you haven't touched this because you figured it's just a dumb cartoon for kids, you're wrong. It is really important. You can live without watching it, but it's still, to me, as a fan, it's really important to understand little touchstones. And I imagine some of these characters could show up in live action in some way. Yes, this is also, and they touch on it slightly without mentioning it really, but this is also the last work of what? Why is my brain blanking on his name? Chadwick Boseman. No edits, people. I'm tired. So, the last work of Chadwick Boseman as Black Panther. He, beyond the 2 films, Black Panther films and the Avengers films and everything else that he's appeared in, this is literally his last appearances as that character. So, treasure it for what it is. It's definitely worth checking out. So watch season 1, watch this, watch season 2, and then coming like the last week, 8 days in a row, at the end of December, toward the end of December, finish off the series. And I have a feeling they're going to go out with a bang, and something that will have repercussions, possibly, for the future of the MCU. Don't know. I don't know. But they tend to do, they don't do these things by accident. Kevin Feige, in this thing, once you realize now that there's a Marvel Zombies series and all sorts of other things, there's guys who are just like, yeah, this might have repercussions on things that are happening later, that we're doing later on. They all know they're going to make a Marvel Zombies series. They all know they're going to do the Multiverse of Madness, or they're going to do Peter Parker, the Spider-Man films and all these. They know they're going to do some of these things and what's to come with Loki and things. So, yeah. It's fun. Let's pick tomorrow's episode. 218. Yeah, I know a lot of them don't have the full picture, but Kevin Feige knows. 218. Overshot that one. Ooh, okay. We're going to do a few of these. We got shorts. I'm going to do a few of these. I've actually watched the series, almost about half the series so far, because I keep adding episodes, and there's some little guys in my life that I enjoy watching them with, who they have an earlier bedtime now, so by the time I get to hang out with their parents, they don't get a chance to watch them with me anymore. So I've kind of slowed down on my watching, but these shorts, well, this will make up for it for now. These are the Star Wars Young Jedi Adventures shorts. Yeah. Yeah, when you have a 3 and a 5-year-old in your life who loves Star Wars, partially thanks to your influence, and their parents as well, but my influence. Well, hey, you know what? Any chance to watch more Star Wars, for me, is a good thing. So, Star Wars Young Jedi Adventures shorts is what we're watching next on the Disney Plus Everyday Challenge. I'll see you back here tomorrow with that.